Welcome back. Two Idiots Respond. We think that's what it's going to be called. Not exactly sure how we're going to do this, but we want to respond to feedback we get on episodes in some way or another. But this is a response to some feedback we got on the Bob Lazar story.
Yeah, we want to try to group everyone into our big, happy, huggy idiot group. We want to be a big group of idiots.
Big group of idiots, and guess what? Talking. That's the whole point of this. We want to be having a conversation. We want to be talking about stuff because we're all idiots. Yeah. And what are we going to do aside from talk? We don't want to argue. We want to talk and learn with each other.
So we had some interesting interactions on our Bob Lazar
Thank you,
episode,
by the way.
Where people were questioning, our motives, I guess, just like we were questioning Bob's motives.
Right, yeah, which is legitimate.
Yeah, we had a lovely commenter by the name of Ian who brought up the fact that he hates being pestered. Bob Lazar hates being pestered.
Yeah, not Ian.
And that there were still some more things to be questioning. And that the fact that he's been questioning this for decades and flip-flopping back and forth on whether or not Bob is telling the truth or not.
Right. He brought up the very valid point that he's been vindicated. He's been very consistent. And really, what does he have to lie? What's the motive behind lying? And that's true. We don't know. We don't know the motive. We're guessing a little bit here and there in the episode, but we don't want to act like we know what was happening. Yeah.
In a fault to our own biases, we, in the debunking mindset,
which we're not debunkers again.
We thought, we thought that we pinpointed a motive,
a possible motive.
But to be fair, we're just doing as much speculation as anyone else.
Absolutely, and we could be talking out of our asses. We genuinely don't know. But this is just how we felt. Just like we said, we loved the story, and then we researched it and kind of became a little more skeptical as time went on.
Disillusioned.
Yeah. So to address those points, it's my thoughts on everything, and we did respond to these in the comments as well. But my thoughts are just, yes, he's been vindicated on a lot of things. We can't determine a motive for lying, and George Knapp has found some things that kind of feel like proof for a lot of stuff. It's just, with the benefit of the doubt, giving the best possible view of everything and all the evidence and whatnot, I still just can't bring myself to believe the entire story. Just like I said, just like we both said in the episode, I don't doubt that he worked at Los Alamos. Whatever that function was, whether it was a subcontractor, a technician, or he was genuinely a physicist, I'm not saying that he's lying about that. I think he genuinely worked at S4. He definitely worked on confidential stuff. It's just like, even with all that, everything else is still so up in the air. And then, like we said, when we were looking at his history as a person, there were just these weird things and questions that just kind of made me skeptical to motives. So I just can't bring myself to believe the entire story just because a few things have been vindicated and proven,
Yeah, we're not trying to be debunkers, and we apologize if that's what we seemed like in this episode. That's not really our goal. We want to have as open a mind as possible. But I just thought that the episode turned out really well because at the end, Will kind of sliced this whole story down to size with Occam's razor and wrapped it up and wove the line of truth through all of Bob's stories. We want to believe, like we said, but with the previous lies in Bob's life, being in debt,
weird marital things,
his wife mysteriously dying, his involvement with the brothel, and talking
being
about
unwilling to
driving
talk
the rocket
about
car.
His work at a lot of things that didn't have to do with him being a physicist.
Right. The other thing that was brought up was that we did talk about in the episode how he knew that the base was going to be testing on Wednesdays, and that is vindicating, and we tried to provide, a simpler explanation for that.
Yes.
And that's really all we're going to try to do is just provide the simplest explanation that we think is the most believable and in line with what we do know. So we do appreciate your interactions and your comments and your involvement and your listening time. And what we want to do with this segment in the future is, use it as feedback to improve our podcast.
Yes.
And help you feel like you have a say in the matter.
Yeah.
Because you do.
And we're clearly a new podcast, so we don't get a lot of views, but we hope to grow, and we hope to make this segment bigger, into a bigger conversation. Now, there's another comment I want to address, Richard.
Oh, yep, sorry.
Yeah, Richard. Very valid comment as well. Again, he says we sound like debunkers. Like we said, we're not trying to be. We apologize if that's what it came off as us being attacking Bob or anything. That's not what we're trying to be. We're just trying to express our skepticism. We wanted to believe
trying to
it.
Be entertaining.
Exactly. We're doing our best to be entertaining. But something he said is that he also questions his education, which is, it's probably the biggest thing in the story that's weird. But he mentions that George Knapp has proved him right in a lot of things, and more people are starting to say he worked at Los Alamos and not as a technician. Yes, absolutely. 100% agree. He is being vindicated, just like we said. It's pretty much the same as what we said earlier with Ian. He is being vindicated. There are things that are being proven to be true. It's just I can't bring myself to believe everything merely because some things are being proven true.
Yeah.
And
this isn't to knock like George Knapp or, even Bob himself.
Right.
Or even Joe Rogan.
Or even Joe Rogan, yes.
Yeah. We're just saying that we want to uncover the actual truth.
And we're not in-depth researchers. We're not investigative journalists. We're not doing the hard work. We're only doing light research. The point of this is just to talk about things we enjoy, not to do months of research. Granted, this could grow into something where we do a lot more research. Who knows? But right now,
we call ourselves idiots for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. We're pretty much giving ourselves an excuse to not know literally everything. I forget what I was going to say, but there's one more thing with Ian I want to address. Is Ian said Bob does not like attention and has been constantly contacted by crazy people. Also true. I agree. But I still think the wrap up that we did at the end, where we said that there is a mere possibility that this story was genuinely insurance, but for other reasons, would lead me to believe, he doesn't like talking about it, because if it's a lie and it's getting him weird attention, of course he wouldn't want attention.
An unintended consequence of his initial story. Yeah.
He does talk about how he wish he never says anything. That would also line up. It lines up with both. So my point is, the official story and then the mere possible story that we were talking about, which many people have proposed. That's not our it's not like coming directly from us as a new thing. Both fit with everything that we see, with his mentality, his personality, what he says. Both are explanations. So we tend towards the one that is simpler, like we said, Occam's razor. But yeah.
It's easy to get wrapped up in fantastical ideas. And like we said, we wanted to believe it as well, but our dreams were crushed, as we said, and you can't have it like you want it all the time. Sometimes you gotta face facts.
And just like we said in episode 4, we in the future, hopefully, we're gonna find something that we research and it just absolutely lines up with what we're hoping to read.
Exactly.
We are just going with what we're reading. If we read something that makes us feel like, oof, this is definitely not what we thought, we're going to talk about that. And if we go, oh, wow, this is actually really cool and lines up just with what we thought, absolutely, we're going to talk about that. So,
hell yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
Right. We're two idiots. I'm Nate.
I'm Will. And, just keep interacting. We hope to respond to more in the future. Bye-bye.
Episode, which means you've unlocked the end of episode announcement.
All right. End of the episode. Thanks for listening.
Yeah. Thanks for coming back and giving us your ears one more time.
We just wanted to shout out real quick that we are available on all streaming platforms, as far as I'm aware. Pretty sure all of them.
Yeah. There's not much that I didn't put it on. If there's something that exists where it's not on, that means I just don't know about it.
And also, we have a dedicated Twitter for the podcast that we would love for you to follow. Get updates.
Yeah, if you follow us on Twitter. you'd be able to interact with us more easily and frequently than, just writing comments in the YouTube, because sometimes I don't see those.
Yeah, follow the Twitter if you want to interact with us for the podcast. Follow our individual Twitters if you want to see us complain about politics.
Yeah, and that will be, for me, at reincarnate
with underscores between all of the letters of Nate.
and I will link that.
Yeah, it's all in the description. Mine's at Summy William, Summy William.
And our conjoined podcast is 2TO idiots_talk.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thank you.